Hallo Leute, ich bin Katja und ihr seht Deutsch für euch. So today you're gonna learn how to give somebody an order in German. Now you can finally go around and start living that stereotype. In German we call this Befehlsform, so order form. For the grammar nerds out there, it's Befehlsform because Befehls is genitive and because it is the form of the order, like the order's form, and that's how that comes into being. But we'll talk about compound words in the future, so if you don't know anything about them yet, don't worry about it. It's also called imperative, like in Latin. You know that word, right? This is imperative. God, I'm so annoyingly quirky today. Anyway, like in pretty much every language, or at least the ones I know of, there are two ways of using the imperative in German. That is for singular and plural. Now for both singular and plural, we only have one form, and that is the second person, which is you in English, so du and ihr in German. The reason for this is because orders are always given directly to the person that they are directed at, which is why the sentence, "this is a direct order," is kind of stupid. But never minding that, we are going to start with the plural today for once, because that is the more easily understandable form of the two. Because the plural form for giving somebody an order in German is the exact same as the, normal conjugation second person plural. So for example, if I were to tell somebody to go, so let's say we have a group of 3 people that I'm thoroughly annoyed with, and I tell them to go away. I would say geht weg. Weg being away. So geht is the imperative plural and is the same as the normal second person plural form of gehen, to go. So that's fairly easy. If you're talking to a group of people and you know the verb and you know the forms, you could just use the second person plural and you're fine. Second person singular is a bit different, but once you've got it figured out, it's not that hard either, no worries. So let's take the example gehen again. If you know your regular verbs, which you really should by now, you will know that the second person singular of gehen is du gehst. Now, if we were to follow the rule of the second person plural for imperative, we would just say gehst and would be fine with that. But that's sadly not the way it works. Instead, what we do is we take really only the stem, which is G-E-H, ge, and that is our imperative for the second person singular, so a singular imperative. So while it does address one person and therefore is second person singular, we chop off the st, which is our standard second person singular ending, and just go with a stem alone. So that is really the only thing you have to remember. What you do have to watch out for is irregular verbs. Because for irregular verbs, it's kind of a no-brainer, but this is actually a mistake that many Germans make as well. For irregular verbs, you also take the stem and chop off the ending, with whatever it is, but you have to keep the irregular stem. So for example, for one of our irregular verbs of last week, essen, we would come out with is, not es. Because the second person singular of essen is not du esst, but du isst. So for irregular verbs, in some instances, you will have to learn them separately. For most, the ending will still be the same, unlike with essen. So for example, the other verb we had werfen, du wirfst. If you want to tell somebody to throw the ball over to you, you would say wirf den Ball. So for imperative singular, you take the second person singular form of whatever verb you have and chop off st. And that is it. For irregular verbs, that's the same thing, including the vowel change that happens in the second person singular. There are some irregular verbs, like essen, where you have to watch out, where you have to be extra careful because the ending might be different. For example, as I said, in essen, it's du isst, but is. But those are really rare. So, once you encounter one, I think you will have an easy time remembering it just because it's rare. And that's it for today already. Your random word of the week is die Trommel. English speakers beware. The drums, as in the whole drum set, is not called Trommeln in German. We call that Schlagzeug, which literally means beating stuff. A Trommel really is only, the one thing that, you hit and it does that drum sound. Also, guys, because I always kind of take inspiration from whatever is around me, I'm kind of running out of random words of the week. So if there are any words that you would like me to, take as random words of the week and also explain like I do, let me know in the comments and I will include them sometime. Yeah, if that doesn't happen, I will have to start looking around the house. Okay, we're done. Bis nächste Woche. Tschüss!